questions?
Yeah, very important game for us here at home. Again, in our stadium, I think we've only played 5 games so far this year, so we're looking forward to play our sixth one. Bay is a team that it brings a lot of threats. They've had a lot of changes during the year in terms of who does what roles, but I think the threats are there. They're a team that is looking very good, sharp offensively, so they're gonna definitely present some problems there, and we hope that we can give our fans a great game, control the game, and win. But we are sure it's gonna be also a difficult game, no?
Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hello, Andrew.
Um, we just talked with Josephine and kind of talked about her transition to Gotham and everything. And I was just curious from your perspective, what really stood out about her maybe style of play or what she can bring to Gotham, and how what kind of role do you envision for her kind of from the start here as she sort of starts to get acclimated?
Yeah, well, Josie is part of a program that we've been trying to develop internally, where we've had some of the college players coming to train with us. She came last year kind of at the same time that Charles Szupanski or Lily Rio did, and I'm very glad she did, no, because I would say, and I was chatting actually today with her, is a difficult player to scout because her main strengths are how clever she is, how she reads the game, how she positions herself, how good she and clean she is technically. So she's definitely someone that is going to add to our midfield, wherever the role it is. She's a player that can be, an organizer of the game, but then she's also a player that can arrive on the opposite box. So is someone that we really value, that we think can give us another dimension in that midfield. And together with Neely and Taryn, Jalen, Sarah, who have been playing a lot this year, but now also with the recoveries now of Rose and Sophia, that can give us a little bit of a strength in that position. Also looking at that we are the team in the NWSL that plays the most games during the year. A lot of our players are international. I think we have 10 going now between, like senior players, young players of the US, players going to the Euros, the Africa Cup of Nations, the Copa America. So I think it's important for us to have a strong competitive roster, and it definitely adds into that. No?
And then just like a logistical question, do you expect her to be available tomorrow, or is it more of like could the adjustment take longer than that before she's available?
No, she will be available tomorrow. She came in and was available also last week in Utah. So yeah, I think we haven't had any issues medically in there. So yeah, she will be in the roster tomorrow.
And then one quickly on Lily, her call up to the United States national team camp this week. Just what's impressed you about the way she's adjusted to the NWSL level, and what have you learned from maybe watching her defend and kind of you know navigate her first season here?
Yeah, well, I think again, Lily, no, part of that group of players that came last year, she really impressed us from the set go. I think maybe at the beginning we were looking more ahead on the center back position when she came in last year, but then the more we analyzed her in the off season, we thought that she could also help us on that number 3, and in the left back. You just mentioned in there about her defending. I think one of her strengths is also the attacking. She's a player that can really progress the play, go a fantastic left foot, a good eye for combinations. She's quick, but she's super powerful over a short distance, and she really fits into that profile of player that we need in those positions. We're trying to help her in the adaptation, but she's helping herself, like she's been a fantastic human being off the pitch. She really helps. She got the most of the time she's been playing obviously with Emily, who is a fantastic senior player. Then the connection with Jalen in the area, and then she's starting to have a good connection also with Jace, even if the language barrier is there, but it's fun, and they're doing a great job together. We could see how they link up, for example, for that second goal last week, the three of them, no, Jalen and Jace and herself. So yeah, super proud of her. It's a question of for us trying to facilitate her growth, her progression, and that she keeps going in that direction. No?
Sean, go ahead.
Sean Suckling, Allen Magazine. Thank you for taking the time out to speak with us today, Coach. You have amassed a number of players on your team, players that have moved on from your team that are all playing, and you just listed a bunch of different levels of playing at internationally, tournaments and whatnot. What do you think it is about, particularly ones that hadn't played at that level before coming to your team, that's caused this to happen? Do you credit them developing on their own? Your coaching staff? Is there anything that you would directly attribute that to?
Well, I think definitely in this case we're talking about all the aspects. No, we try to take care of all of them. I think on the individual side, Anton Blackwood is doing a fantastic job in terms of trying to help us organize the plans for each of them. They got the coaches assigned, whatever it is, Sean, Ak, Jen, Will, Brody on the and Mish on the goalkeeper cases. Like we have a very a strong technical team with Andy as well, and then ultimately for me is what they do, you know, like how they start implementing the little details, the connection within the system, and start like flourishing in those aspects. I think we always try to create, in our style, the structure fluidity. We try to have a very solid and clear defending style with the roles everyone needs to fill. And on the fluidity, we have a lot more freedom. We try to create game plans or situations that really adapt a lot more to our players to try to maximize what they can bring. And I think they then excel within that frame. And this is the case of Lily, of Sarah, of maybe even Mac now that's starting to go to the 17s, but maybe more on the younger side. But then we also have maybe someone like Esther now coming back to the national team after a year and a bit out, and thanks to her performances here, we Gotham is now obviously earning that call for the Euros, and hopefully she can start and do really well there. No?
Any other questions for Juan?
Please, yes.
Go on, Sean. She said that she wants another one.
Gracias.
Go on, Sean.
What unique challenge or challenges do you feel Bay presents to you that vary from more recent competitions, including the games in Mexico?
Well, I think they obviously have a big threat in terms of the forward line. I think Rachel Kundananji and Osoala had that have been always kind of playing. I think they go like obviously that's a big threat more on the senior side. I think Taylor Huff is adapted to the league fantastically well. He's giving them another dimension from that number 10 position. They go. Lema is doing really well, Rachel Hill, then they are a team that on the offensive side with how they join in with Caprice, fantastic girl, fantastic player, and Malonson. They're gonna give us a lot of headaches in terms of the defending side. So I think that is a little bit different now. I think they're a team that really push players forward that really have that speed and power up top. So I think that's a little bit different to the last few challenges we've
We're
had.
joined by Josefine Hasbo, new signing, and very within the last few hours, Josie called into the Denmark national team for the Euros coming up. But first and foremost, if you could just start us off with how things are going so far since signing and getting into training and being with the team, and then we'll open for questions.
Yeah, totally. I mean, ultimately, it's been an incredible experience to be here so far. Everything's been quick in the sense that I went directly to the team to Utah, which was a great experience to be around the team, around the game, and see how Gotham operates. We had a fun season ticket holder event on Wednesday where I got to meet the fans, and so I think in overall it's been a very, very great start, and I'm very happy to see how Gotham and the team and the staff around me has welcomed me to the group.
If you have a question, you can hit your raise your hand function. Andrew, since you were on here from the beginning, I don't know if you have anything or.
I do, yes. Hi, Josephine. How are you? I was just curious about you've played at so many different levels, obviously Harvard internationally, now here. Just what do you feel like the biggest adjustment will be to the NWSL, and have you already maybe figured out what that adjustment will be and how to sort of tackle that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Ultimately, I think that I'm prepared from the perspective that I have my international games with the Danish team where I face very high competition. And I think from a leadership perspective, I think Harvard has prepared me well. I think that's the two ingredients that will be very important for me to bring into the game in the games in WSL. But of course, when you look from the league, it's amazing to see the growth of the league and the wealth of experience that I'm going to face too. So if I should point like specific things, it would definitely be the quickness. And as a midfielder, you know that you'll have to show up quick in some of these different spaces. But for now, I think the just understanding how Gotham wants to play and their ultimately player identity will be important for me to excel within the team.
Sean, go ahead.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. This is Sean from Soccer Long Island Magazine.
Hey, Sean.
Everyone knows the renowned alum of Harvard throughout, we'll call it general business. You're the second player in your team from Harvard. Another player very recently also just signed with the team. Another past player, she's an author, she's an investor in a women's shoe company. Shep Messing, of course, who's been involved in soccer forever, played there famously in the 70s. What is it about the school that, particularly of late, that so many soccer players are coming out of there and going on to much higher levels?
Yeah, no, I love that question. I think Harvard does many things well. From I can only ultimately speak from my own experience, but I think what Harvard has offered me is the opportunity to be a student athlete. And from that experience of being a student athlete, that comes with so much more than just academics and just soccer. It's very much about the spaces in between where you get to connect and communicate with people from all around the world. And through those interactions, me personally, I've been very much challenged, seen, heard different opinions about multiple issues that we ultimately want to address as a society. But I think just those daily conversation are something that is inspiring me, but also push me to think about my own opinions of how I want to show up in the world. So yeah, the student athlete experience, the people, that's usually the answer that I'll give.
Any other questions for Josie?
I just have one more. When you look at kind of where to go from here this season, right? What has maybe your conversations been with coach about your role, and what does he maybe expect from you going forward the rest of the year, and who from the team has maybe helped the most with sort of acclimating to a season on the fly when everybody's been already kind of going in the season so far?
Yeah, no, I think in overall, actually, all of my teammates in Gotham has been very, very welcoming. I think first of all, the roster, how it's set up, it has a great balance between new players, rookies coming out of college, people like me, like here to learn from the veterans who have so much experience. So to answer your question regarding my role, it's ultimately to keep the team and the players on the midfield competitive. It's to be a player that is agile with tactical intelligence. That's one of my own characteristics that I want to contribute to the field to be able to join the attack, but ultimately also have defensive resilience. So that's those components, and I think they suit very well into the identity of Gotham, how they want to play with the brave soccer identity.
Sean, go ahead.
As I'm sure you know, this being the first year of no draft and the time that you joined the team would have been well after the draft. What is it that drew you to Gotham from other teams you could have chosen? If you could pinpoint one or a few items that really brought you here.
Yeah, so I was very lucky to train with the team a year ago. I had 3 weeks with the team, and just from having almost initial experience, a sense of what Gotham wants to achieve. For instance, it's interesting. Like Gotham has like this, let's say, almost like mantra. It says like we're always building, and I think that's some words that I associate very much with, because as a player, you always want to move into the next level and see where you can improve. And I think the fact that Gotham kind of showed that they have this uh, open mindset to be open to feedback, but also setting a direction of having a very international group. Ultimately, our coach Juan is from Spain, but we also have fantastic high level expert from England. And I think that's kind of the combination that is very appealing as an international player. And the fact that I've already been in the US for such a long time, I think it's just personally a very natural transition to being used to the culture and speaking English. And I think that was some of the factors that was very, very important to me. And now just realizing the loyal fan base too, and how much the fans want Gotham to win and to be promoted in the city. That's something that is a very cool thing to experience too.